What if I told you that some of history's most disturbing stories are almost completely ignored in textbooks? The kind of facts that make you stop and question everything you thought you knew about the past. Today, we're going deep. These are 5 of the darkest, most unsettling facts in human history, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Let's get into it. Segment 1. The Herero Genocide. Before the Holocaust, before World War II, there was a genocide that the world almost entirely forgot. In 1904, German colonial forces in what is now Namibia systematically exterminated the Herero and Nama people. Men were shot on sight. Women and children were driven into the desert to die of thirst. Those who survived were placed in concentration camps, one of the first recorded uses of that term in history. Historians estimate that up to 80% of the Herero population was wiped out. What makes this even more disturbing? Germany didn't formally acknowledge it as a genocide until 2021. Over a century of silence. Segment 2. Unit 731. During World War II, while most people focus on the European front, something deeply horrifying was happening in Manchuria, China. A covert Japanese military unit, known only as Unit 731, conducted biological and chemical experiments on live human prisoners. Subjects, who were referred to internally as logs, were exposed to plague, frostbite, and vivisection. Surgery performed while the patient was still alive, without anesthesia. The unit's goal was to develop biological weapons. An estimated 3,000 to 12,000 people died directly from these experiments. Here's the part that will genuinely disturb you. After the war, the United States granted immunity to Unit 731's leaders in exchange for their research data. Not a single member was tried for war crimes by the Allies. Segment 3. The Dancing Plague. Not all dark history involves war. Some of it is just deeply, unsettlingly strange. In July 1518, in the city of Strasbourg, now part of modern France, a woman named Frau Trophea walked into the street and began to dance. She danced for days without stopping. Within a week, 34 others had joined her. Within a month, the number had grown to around 400 people, dancing uncontrollably, unable to stop. Many danced until they collapsed from exhaustion. Some reportedly died from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer physical breakdown. Authorities, baffled, actually encouraged the dancing, believing it would eventually burn itself out. Historians still debate the cause. Mass psychogenic illness, ergot poisoning from contaminated grain, or something else entirely. To this day, no one truly knows what happened in Strasbourg that summer. Segment 4. The lobotomy epidemic. In the 1940s and 50s, a procedure called the lobotomy was considered a legitimate medical breakthrough. Psychiatrist Walter Freeman traveled across the United States in a van he called the lobotomobile, performing the procedure in hotels, offices, and clinics. His method involved inserting an ice pick-like instrument through the eye socket and into the brain, then moving it back and forth to sever connections in the frontal lobe. He performed over 3,500 lobotomies in his lifetime, sometimes on patients who were simply considered difficult. One of his patients was Rosemary Kennedy, the sister of President John F. Kennedy. She went in as a vibrant 23-year-old. She came out permanently incapacitated with the mental capacity of a young child. Freeman was eventually banned from performing surgeries after a patient died on the table. He had no surgical training whatsoever. Segment 5. The Bengal Famine. In 1943, a famine swept through Bengal, India, killing an estimated 2 to 3 million people. What makes this uniquely disturbing is that it was not caused by a lack of food. It was caused by policy. Winston Churchill's wartime government diverted food supplies away from Bengal to supply British troops and build up stockpiles in Europe. When Indian officials begged for aid, Churchill reportedly asked why Gandhi hadn't died yet. Requests for emergency food relief were denied or delayed. Entire families starved to death, while warehouses nearby held grain that was being exported. The Bengal famine remains one of the most debated and uncomfortable chapters of British colonial history, and one that many in the West still know very little about. History is far darker and far more complicated than what we're usually taught. These 5 stories are just a fraction of what's been buried, ignored, or deliberately forgotten. If you want more videos like this, the untold, the disturbing, the hidden, hit subscribe. We post new dark history every week. And drop a comment below. Which of these facts shocked you the most? I'll see you in the next one.